Imagine a crisis larger and more impactful than any recession we've ever faced. Now, I know that's a daunting thought, but let's not shy away from it. Instead, let's delve deeper. We're talking about a prediction made by a man who has rarely been wrong when it comes to matters of the global economy. His name is Jeremy Grantham. Grantham isn't your run-of-the-mill investor. He's a visionary who has made some startling forecasts about the future of our economy. His predictions aren't mere conjectures. They're based on meticulous study and a deep understanding of economic patterns. Grantham's acumen isn't just theoretical. He has successfully predicted previous economic downturns, earning him the reputation of an oracle in the world of finance. But why should we trust Grantham's predictions? Let's delve into his track record. And as we do, prepare to be amazed, because the insights we're about to uncover could change the way you think about the future. Jeremy Grantham, often dubbed as the Oracle of Doom, has an uncanny knack for predicting economic downturns. His foresight might seem mystical, yet it's grounded in an intricate understanding of market dynamics, thorough research, and a deep-seated instinct for financial ebbs and flows. You see, Grantham is no stranger to the world of finance and investing. In fact, he's a seasoned veteran, a master strategist whose insights have shaped investment strategies for decades. He co-founded GMO, one of the world's most respected investment firms, and his financial acumen has guided the firm through the turbulent seas of the global economy. But it's not just his credentials that command respect, it's his track record. Grantham has been eerily accurate in his predictions, foreseeing some of the most significant economic upheavals of our time. Take, for instance, the dot-com bubble of the early 2000s. When the market was in a tech-fueled frenzy, Grantham was one of the few voices of caution, warning of an impending crash. And crash it did, vindicating his forecast and cementing his reputation as a prescient observer of market trends. Then came the financial crisis of 2008. Again, while most were blindsided by the collapse, Grantham had predicted it. He had seen the signs, the reckless lending, the inflated housing market, the precarious financial instruments. And he had sounded the alarm, but few heeded his warning until it was too late. This is the man, the Oracle of Doom, whose predictions we're discussing today. A man whose insights are based not on crystal balls, but on careful analysis and a profound understanding of the financial landscape. Yet his latest prediction is far more grim and far-reaching than any he has made before. Grantham's latest prediction is not just about another recession, it's about a crisis that could shake the very foundations of our global economy. Jeremy Grantham, the renowned investor and co-founder of GMO, has a track record of making spot-on market predictions. His latest forecast, however, is not about a mere market downturn or a fleeting economic slump. It's about a crisis of unprecedented proportions, one that could potentially rewrite the rules of our global economy. This crisis, as Grantham envisions it, is not confined to a single sector or a handful of economies. It's a global phenomenon, one that could touch every corner of the planet and every facet of our lives. It's a crisis that could dwarf the Great Recession of 2008 and overshadow the dot-com bubble of the late 90s. The severity of this crisis, according to Grantham, is rooted in its potential to disrupt the very mechanisms we rely on for economic stability and growth. It could upend financial markets, erode consumer confidence, and put a stranglehold on global trade. It could halt technological progress, stifle innovation, and ultimately lead to a prolonged period of economic stagnation. The scope of this crisis, as Grantham sees it, is equally daunting. It's not just about Wall Street or Silicon Valley, it's about Main Street and the countless small businesses that form the backbone of our economy. It's about the farmers in the Midwest, the factory workers in China, the tech entrepreneurs in India, and the oil tycoons in the Middle East. It's a crisis that transcends borders, industries, and socio-economic classes. But here's the real kicker. This crisis, as severe and as widespread as it may be, is not inevitable. It's not a natural disaster or an act of God. It's a man-made crisis, one that we have the power to prevent or at least mitigate. But what could possibly trigger such a crisis? Hold on to your seats as we unravel the cause. The cause of this impending crisis, according to Grantham, is something we encounter in our daily lives, yet rarely give a second thought. The world around us is filled with ordinary things that could be extraordinary catalysts, hiding in plain sight. It's not always the spectacular or the flashy that holds power, but often it's the overlooked, the unassuming, the seemingly insignificant. Consider the humble butterfly, fluttering its wings in a distant rainforest. Could it really set off a tornado thousands of miles away? It seems improbable, doesn't it? Yet this is the essence of the butterfly effect, a concept in chaos theory suggesting that small causes can have large effects. Similarly, Grantham points towards a seemingly trivial factor, an everyday occurrence, as the unseen catalyst for a crisis worse than a recession, a force so commonplace, so ingrained in our daily lives, that we seldom pause to consider its potential impacts on a global scale. Is it the air we breathe, the water we drink, the technology we can't live without, the food we consume, or the money we earn and spend? We're surrounded by potential triggers, each with the power to set off a chain reaction, rippling through economies, societies, and lives. But it's not about fear. It's about understanding. Understanding that the world is interconnected, that a single spark can ignite a wildfire, that a pebble can start an avalanche. And it's about recognizing that we as individuals, as societies, as nations, hold the power to influence these triggers, for better or for worse. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? That something so ordinary could wield such extraordinary power. But then again, isn't that the nature of catalysts? They don't need to be large or loud, they just need to be potent and at the right place at the right time. So, as we delve deeper into Grantham's predictions, we must ask ourselves this: are we looking in the right places, or are we overlooking the catalyst right under our noses? Are we prepared to face the consequences of our daily actions? Are you ready to discover the catalyst behind this impending crisis? The root of this crisis, according to Grantham, lies not in our stock markets or banking systems, but in something far more fundamental and crucial for our survival. This predicament, as Grantham sees it, is rooted in our mistreatment of the environment. We've been recklessly exploiting our planet's resources, leaving destruction in our wake. But the Earth, like any other entity, has its limits. It can only take so much abuse before it begins to retaliate. And that retaliation, my friends, is what's leading us down a path of economic disaster. You see, our economy is intrinsically tied to the environment. It's like a huge, complex machine. And the environment is its fuel. If we deplete this fuel or contaminate it, the machine will splutter and eventually come to a grinding halt. That's the crisis Grantham is warning us about. It's not just about melting ice caps or rising sea levels. It's about a total system collapse, where economies crumble and societies descend into chaos. Now let's tie this back to Grantham's prediction. He didn't just pull this out of thin air. His forecast is based on meticulous research and years of observing market trends and environmental patterns. He's not a doomsayer, he's a realist. And the reality, as he sees it, is rather grim. But here's the thing, Grantham's prediction isn't set in stone. It's a warning, a call to action. We have the power to change this narrative, but it won't be easy. It will require a radical shift in our attitudes and behaviors. It will require us to rethink our economic models, to place sustainability at the heart of our strategies. So, what can we do to avert this crisis? The answer may not be as straightforward as you think. But one thing is certain. We must act now or prepare to face the consequences.